Causey here. In the previous two videos we've had a look at various configurations. We can classify these into various types. First, still life, and we've seen I think 3 still lifes in the previous videos: the block, the boat and the beehive. Another type of configurations, the oscillators. These are ones that return to the original configuration. The one we've looked at was the blinker. There's a vertical line of 3 and that changes to a horizontal line of 3 and then that repeats. So it has a period of 2. It's a period 2 oscillator. It's the only one we've come across so far. And the other configuration that we looked at was the glider under the heading gliders, and it returns to its original pattern except it's moved, in this case one to the right and one up. And off it goes off the page. So how can we discover other still lifes and oscillators or even gliders? Well, what we can do is look at a very large area and seed it with random dots, set fire to it, watch it burn, and then examine the ash afterwards and see what's there. And we'll see some of our familiar patterns: the beehive, there's the boat and the blinker, and there's a block. I mean, there's more unusual ones we haven't seen before. There's a loaf and a tub, and there's even another oscillator appeared, the toad. So looking at the ash, when we set fire to these random dots, we've produced some more interesting configurations. So there they are, added to our list, and there's the toad puffing away. So I think now what we could do is examine a much larger area, set fire to it, watch the resulting blaze, and as it dies out, look through the ash again to see what's there. You may have seen just on the left hand side of the page an interesting pattern emerging. Let's zoom into that. And slow it down a bit. And this is an interesting one. It's a oscillator with period 3. There's 3 different patterns which keep repeating themselves. Now this is a pulsar. It's sometimes called the Cambridge Pulsar. It was discovered by John Conway himself in 1970. There's also a ship and a longboat. So there are other interesting configurations that we've discovered. Now here's the list of the most common still life ash configurations. Number 1, the most common one that appears when we do this exercise, is a block, followed by a beehive, then the loaf, and then the 4th most common is a boat, followed by a tub. Now ones that we haven't seen yet: a pond It's the 6th most common, a ship. A longboat, we did see that. A boat on boat. And the 10th one is a barge. Now oscillators are a lot rarer. So this is a more interesting finding. The first, most common one is the blinker. And that's how it behaves. So that's the most common when you look through ash. It's the most common oscillator that you find. It's a period 2 oscillator. The second most common one is the toad. We've already seen that. And again, that's a period 2 oscillator. And next, third most common oscillator that's found is a beacon. And that's flashing away in the midst of the ash. Fourth most common is a surprising one. This is the pulsar that we found. And it's the first of a period 3 oscillator that we've found. The Cambridge Pulsar. Fifth most common, the Pentadecathlon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then we're back where we started. It's a 15 generation oscillator, period 15. Beautiful to watch. Now number 6, sixth most common oscillator that we find, it's the clock, aptly named. Another period 2 oscillator. Moving on to the 7th most common is the bipole. And that's closely related to the next most common one, the quadpole. Now number 9, it looks a grand configuration there, does very little, switches on and off. It's a period 2 oscillator, just like the previous 2. And the final one, number 10, is a figure of 8. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're back where we started. It's an 8 generation oscillator, period 8. First we've seen of a period 8. So that's a remarkable collection of oscillators. No gliders there. So are there other different types of gliders? Well, that's maybe for a future video. So that's Mr. Corsi signing out, and hope you enjoyed this video.